What is up, all you GBA type people? This is Tom, and we're here with your Pick'em crew. GBA playoffs, week 1. With me as always.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's McCaddy. Now this is going to be a really good one. We've got some very tight scores so far. So these playoffs are going to be really key to separate the men from the boys really and see who can actually pick their matches properly.
Oh, I couldn't have said it any better. So the way this is going to work, for anyone who didn't watch the previous video, so the analysts now are going to pick all the playoff games. We have 4 as compared to our usual 8. And the way that this is going to work is, as compared to the regular season, when we were just putting 1 point on each game, the analysts are now able to put 2 points, aka doubling down, on each match. Now, I saw a lot of you guys put your picks in the comments down on the last video. That's fine. Just listen to how we pick, and we'll work our way from there.
So in terms of doubling down, how it works is you can put an extra one of the points you've already got from previous weeks down onto that match, and what that means is then if you end up getting it correct, you get 2 points, but then if you end up getting it incorrect, then you lose that point that you put down, so you end up at -1 to where you stood before. So first up, we have got Lars versus Dan. Now this is going to be a very interesting one, especially after Lars had an absolutely fantastic game against Dan last time. But we are all on the Lars train for this one. With, I think, yeah, you and Burke have just gone in once, whereas me, Kelly, Baby Nick, Blue, and Hank have all doubled down for this one. So my thoughts on this is that seeing Lars' performance last time, it seems that he knows how to play Dan now. He just played it absolutely excellently, and I think there's still a threat from Dan. But my thoughts in terms of the doubling down is that I need to double down a few times. I need to start playing a little bit risky, because otherwise, if I don't play risky, my lead is going to be taken away from me, and that's not something I want to see.
I think Burke and I discussed it in the power rankings before we started recording. Essentially, we're not as confident on this match because of how the DCs kind of affected Dan and Lars' previous match. Not only that, but it seems to be like if they change their mindset even a little bit, this match can go in a very different direction than how we saw it the first time. Not to say that a 1 seed versus a 4 seed is going to be very lopsided, but it's just, this is more or less a game that, it's a refresher that we haven't seen yet. So, we're just going to stay simple on this one and go for the 1 point rather than risk the 2 points, because I don't know who's better in this match. You have the wild card in Dan, and you have the supposed 1 seed in Lars. Who comes out of this is frankly up to them.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with that. And as I said, my double down is mainly just try and see if I can put a few points ahead.
Next up, we have the Fizz versus John match. So Fizz is the 2 seed, John is the 3 seed. So it looks as though we have everyone except Baby Nick and you picking on John. And then we have double downs for me picking Fizz, Burke as well, Baby Nick, Blue, and Hank. All doubling down. It seems that there's a little bit more confidence in this match. I think it's going to be a fantastic match because Fizz didn't reveal anything in his first match against John. John, however, kind of showed what his best foot forward was going into this match. Now, how does Fizz prepare knowing that first match was kind of a dud? And how does John rearrange his team to still have some kind of surprise? That's why I'm doubling down, because I think that Fizz has the better matchup here and has the drive to really show that first match was kind of a joke. This match is the real deal.
Yeah, no, I do definitely understand that, but I'm still on the John train for this one. It's tricky. I think the last match was a little bit of mind games with Fizz, trying to make John start to prep for other sort of slightly weird things, like obviously the belly drum, chestnut and stuff like that. But as long as John doesn't focus too much on the strange stuff, I'm expecting Fizz to bring a little bit more standard than that for this match and just go sort of all in. And I think John's not going to fall for that sort of blowing smoke at him, if that makes sense. And I think John is very underestimated for this match. I think he's got a really good chance to pull a win through on this one. Okay, so next up we have got Miguel versus Mulvone. Now, everyone is on the Miguel train for this one. We have got you going in for 2 times, Kelly's gone in for once, and then I think the rest of us are all doubling down for this one as well. So my thoughts on this one, this is probably the safest match to pick, which is why it's also my lock of the week. It's also Hank, Baby Nick's, and also Kelly's lock of the week as well. My thoughts on this is we've got Miguel that's shown that he's a very strong player all the way through the season. Very consistent as well. And then against Mulvone, he proved that he was able to beat Mulvone last time, and I just think it's just incredibly safe. when you compare the two players against each other for this match.
Not only that, I think that the contingency in the Johto division isn't quite as strong playoff-wise as it was for the Kanto division. Now, there was a struggle between Mavone, Nips, and Gubbs, who aren't quite on the same tier as Miguel in terms of their, how their season had went. So, as Will said, this is the safest match because, we saw Miguel beat on Mavone the first time. What's stopping him from doing it a second time in the playoffs where he's ready to go? And then finally, we have George versus Nick. Now, this one, we're a little bit more split. We have Burke and I also, again, going for the safe, just 1 point pick on Nick. Kelly, a 1 point safe pick on George. And then everyone else doubling down on George. Now, I think this match is the hardest match to choose because Nick has had his up and downs of playing and then not really playing. I haven't seen his Week 12 match yet. And then George has either shown up and absolutely put someone in the dirt real quick, or he's been, making a little bit of riskier, maybe kind of half-baked thoughts. And then, therefore, his plays aren't quite up to par with what we expect. So, that being said, this match I think can go one way or the other way. Nick can either show up and shut George down, basically because I think he has a better team matchup, or George can show up and showcase how good he really has been throughout the entire season.
So my thoughts on this is that it all comes down to how well George uses Gothitelle. If George can use Gothitelle to trap all of Nick's bulky mons, he can use Thunderbolt and Scarm, he can trick potentially the Cresselia and stuff like that. He could potentially really limit how effectively Nick will be able to use his bulky team to try and sort of out-bulk George. Now, I must admit, I think overall Nick has got the better draft against George and he has a better matchup. But Gothitelle is George's sort of chip to actually allow him to win this battle. And as long as he plays it well, then I think George has got this one. I decided to double down on this one. It's the same sort of thing as the Lars versus Dan. I want to try and get ahead and make a bit of a sort of bolder prediction and play a bit more risky than I have been before. So that's why I did that.
Yeah, I think if George can use something like Shift Tree and Rotom in combination, he could take on three of Nick's very predominant mons in things like Skarmory, Cresselia, and even Manaphy to an extent. So, that being said, that is the picking crew. I know it's a little bit shorter, but hey, that was our discussion for the playoff. You'll see us again next week as we pick our next week's playoff matches and go over the matches that actually happen tomorrow. So, hope you all enjoyed. Leave your rankings if you want, or just discuss how excited you are for the playoffs, or what you're expecting, or whatever else. Love to hear you guys sound off in the comments.
See you guys all on Sunday, and hopefully we'll have some good games for you.
Hopefully. See you guys on Sunday.